got a very special presentation for you today. The diamond beings are back. They have returned in my visions, actually on 2 separate occasions since the last time I posted a video of the diamond beings. So the title of this particular presentation is The Diamond Beings Return, Emissaries of the Eternal. And here's a quick video, AI video of one of the diamond beings that I saw during one of my most recent visions. So I'll let you watch that. I'll talk more about these particular beings in a moment, but I'll just let you look at the diamond being there and pick what you can out of the picture. Now, again, this is AI, and it's not exactly what I saw, but you know, it's a reasonably close facsimile of the actual vision that I had. You know, the AI is never going to get it 100% correct, but the diamond beings in this particular part of this particular vision were in like sort of a command center, like an information center, command control center in space, and they were working on like all sorts of advanced tech computers and things, and the screens looked, you know, recognizable but still different, kind of like in this picture. Like it almost looks like an alien display. It almost looks like the display is like not only goes 3D outward but also goes 3D inward. And again, they were wearing, well, I guess they weren't wearing these face visors in the first vision, but some of the crew on this particular what would I call it, like a giant globe, almost like a Death Star in space, but it's made entirely out of diamonds. They were wearing these face shields, and that's one of the ways that I knew that they were crew. But we'll get to that in a moment. I just want to let you pick out what you can from this image. Again, it's a pretty close representation of what I actually saw. So, how did the actual vision occur? Well, there were a couple visions, and a couple different days of visionary sessions. And the first one I'm not going to talk about right now. It was pretty interesting, and I mentioned it in one of my previous videos. I kind of saw, I don't know what the term is, but like a pirouette, or like 5 or 6 diamond beings kind of in a circle, kind of holding hands with one another, like in a dancing position. And then I saw that like in a music video a few days, like a day or two later, by Courtney Love. It was called Celebrity Skin. Well, I didn't actually see the diamond beings, but I saw underneath the stage like statues or something that were in the same pose, and that sort of thing happens all the time to me. And this particular video is going to get a little dark, and it's going to get a little weird, perhaps surprisingly so to some of you. But again, I am the real thing, and when I practice shamanism or magic, sometimes these sorts of things happen, and it, you know, I kind of wrestle with myself trying to decide, you know, should I keep this channel tame, or should I really show, you know, what it's about, and you know, the good and the bad, and you know, I feel like I kind of owe it to the audience to at least delve a little bit into the deeper, darker side of shamanism and magic, because it's a very real part of magic and shamanism, and it's almost impossible to avoid when you actually get in contact with the power, the spiritual power, and with the spirits. Like, how are you going to avoid the darker aspect of it? You're really not. Like, if there's occultists out there, like, and you watch the videos and they're always talking about love and light, you can be pretty sure they're not really in touch with the real spiritual forces, because there's no avoiding the dark side. You can certainly focus your work in the occult on love and light and that sort of thing, and I tend to be on that side of things. But if they're going to claim that you can practice this sort of stuff without touching onto the dark half, I don't know. I don't see how that's possible, and I've been the real thing for quite a while now. That's all I can say about that. But we'll get to that part a little later in the video. First, I want to talk about the actual vision sequence that I had, the one that forms the foundation for this particular video. So there you go on your screen. You have the first thing I saw, which is, again, this is an AI picture, and I basically found myself out in deep space, who knows where. It didn't look like our solar system. That's all I can say for sure. And kind of, I was going through this swirling cloud of like diamond material that was kind of swirling, like you might expect a star to do before it coalesces into a star and is born. And that's pretty much what happened here. In my vision is this diamond material out in deep space kind of swirled and coalesced into a tighter and tighter circle until it formed like a actual globe, almost like I said, a Death Star made out of diamonds. I don't know how else to explain it. It was just a really big tech globe that almost looked like a little planet, but it was clearly like a construction of the diamond beings. And here, I'll let you check out a quick video of this part of my vision. As I mentioned, this swirling cloud of diamonds formed into the diamond globe, and then I was looking at this diamond globe, the size of maybe a really small moon. It wasn't that big, but it was, pretty big. I mean, this thing appeared to have 10-20,000 diamond beings inside it. And then I'll let you watch a brief video of this here. Now, after I saw this globe form, then I was pulled into the globe in my vision, like as often happens. And this was a vision that was more of the 3D immersive style, where I don't really have any control over what I'm being shown. And so I was pulled in towards this globe, and these diamond sections got bigger and bigger until I focused on one, and then I went through the walls and I was inside, and it was like a command center, as you can see here in this next picture, of diamond beings, like literally working on computers and various tech, like hard at work, busy. It looked it almost looked a bit robotic. I mean, they were so focused on their tasks, but then again, I mean, that's kind of what they were supposed to be doing. So I'll let you see a quick video of this. And that's pretty much how the vision went. But this vision was so like detailed and so interesting, and I kind of had an impression. My impression, by the way, was that this was like a command control center for the diamond beings. And it was interesting that this is now the third time they've showed up for me. But this particular vision interested me so much, I decided I had to sit down and do another channel. I've been having a lot of bad luck with my channeling lately, actually for probably a period of months. Not much luck at all with my channeling, but I had a big breakthrough the other night, and I kind of figured out, as the diamond beings would tell me in this channel, the frequency for contacting the diamond beings and perhaps recontacting the universal data stream, who I always talk to. And I tend to think that even this channel is partially talking to the universal data stream and partially talking to the diamond beings. But man, the channel was just flying out of me. I think I got 5 pages worth of stuff right here, maybe 10 pages, and there's easily another 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 pages of channeling waiting to come out, and it will come out as fast as I want it to. Like, I'm really locked in on the channeling now. Like, and interestingly enough, I was told in the channel not, in the actual channel communication, not to tell you how I actually channeled, like the technique I used in this particular case, because it was like a gift directly to me, so I could get access to this information. And so I don't really have a choice on that one. I could tell you, but I'm not going to tell you the actual technique I used in this case. Like in other cases, I will definitely tell the audience, but I was told not to, so I'll respect that. So now we go to the next slide, and what we have here is a picture of this. This was another vision I had way back in October 14th, 2021, and got to get into a spiritual state of mind real quick before we get to the deeper aspect of this particular video. So I saw this particular thing structure that I called the biggest clear crystal tower in the universe on October 14th, 2021, and I really didn't know what it was. I never channeled about it. I just saw it. And basically, and here I'll let you watch a quick video of this. Now, what I wrote was, the tower stretches far into space from the surface of a planet. So this tower is so big, it goes up through the clouds, through the atmosphere, out into actual like space itself. And it was basically, I always thought it was a clear crystal tower, but I was told in the channel that it's the diamond tower, and this diamond tower was apparently built by the diamond beings, and that's really interesting to me. So I was first in contact with the structure of the diamond beings on October 14th, 2021, and now it's time to move on to the actual channeled communication with or from the diamond beings. And this channel communication is pretty interesting because they basically they're in the process of giving me a book, and like I've already written 10 pages of this book in one night, and once I set my mind to it, this thing could be done in 2 or 3 days. It'll be 50 to 70 pages. And it's basically a book of their magic. And I thought that was really interesting, really cool, but it gets a little dark because the channeling was very strong. So I wasn't really able to filter out that dark aspect of the channeling, of the shamanic connection. So it's kind of like a mixture of many different things, and it's a really interesting channel for a number of reasons, but we need to get into that, and so that's what we will do. So now I will actually read to you the channel as soon as I get it here on my screen. There we go. Text is going to be pretty... Oh, okay, the text got bigger. That's good. All right. So this is a fairly long channel. Like, this is basically... I don't know, this could take me a little while, but here we go. Let's get started. February 1st, 2025, channeled session with the Diamond Beings. Diamond Beings, we call ourselves the emissaries of the eternal. The builders of the markers of the infinite in the material. Finders of the way for those without hope. Our philosophy and cosmology are extreme. Approach the knowledge with extreme caution and respect. Our sacred knowledge is much more than most humans can handle. And I could have easily channeled another. See, it's interesting the way I channel. Like, I've got a whole technique I will actually at some point write a whole book on the channeling techniques, because there's so much stuff I've learned over channeling for 10 to 15 years. But one of the things you do, or I do, is after I write my channel, then you go through it again, and when you go through it again, you can hit certain sections, and you just know, you can feel the channel building up in your mind. And just right there, I could write another half a page of material just on this idea that our sacred knowledge is much more than most humans can handle. Basically, the message I'm getting right now, and I got it yesterday too, so it's not even new, is this idea that humans can't really comprehend the eternal and the infinite in most cases without going crazy. You know, you have to be real pure of mind to even begin to approach that sort of thing, and just gave away some of what we're going to talk about and further in the channel. But you know, you can go through this, and these 5 pages could easily become 20 pages of channeling just by me reading through it and listening to the channel coming back in as I get to the different sections in the channel. And you also see that I highlighted certain parts. Well, that's because I'm storing the channels as a record, just like I store my images as a record. And those are like what I call like the gems of or the key points is another way to put it, but I call them the gems of the channel, and each of those gets separated out from the channel and gets put into a record in a database, because there's many levels to a channel. Like there's your outer level, and a lot of that is fluff and ego and your own conscious mind getting away. But then you drop one level, and even within there's real material, and within there's real material, and it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And so, but and there's so much I could talk about, but it would take forever, and I'll have to do my own video on that. But this was a very strong and potent channel. So this particular channel, there's a lot a lot less fluff in here. This is a fairly direct channel, and it's really strong. It's still waiting to come out. Like, this book is going to come out in the next few days. Like, it's just going to come out of me, and they're giving it to me, and I'm most likely going to write it. The diamond beings offer the message of the eternal and infinite existence. You may call our priests the brethren and sistren of infinite existence. We come from the timeless place of time eternal. Is that a deity name? Wherein exist deities and spheres beyond the eternal universe. Is that another deity name? Those are, when I put those brackets there, that's my own thoughts entered into the channel. We teach of the transformation of time into that which has never existed and which shall never cease to exist. So we've got things that have never existed, but also will never stop existing. The Diamond Tower, and that's that image I just showed you in my record from 2021. The Diamond Tower is a marker of the timeless place beyond the universe. You might call the tower a temple, but we call the tower a marker. Through the marker, the timeless beings come. Entering into this universe, the timeless beings are forced to inhabit biological corporeal forms. So what it's saying here is that through that tower that I drew, there's beings coming into our universe from outside the universe or from the timeless realm beyond the stars. And they're coming into our universe, but when they enter into our universe, they have to assume semi-biological and corporeal forms, and they may even inhabit already existing biological or bodily forms. So they can't exist in our universe as they are in their universe. They have to take on the clothing of our universe. We are sorcerers of a high order, shamans of the stars, celestial miracle workers. The magic of the diamond beings is exceedingly potent and dangerous. The diamond beings practice a magic upon which no human has ever laid eyes. The deific manifestations known by the diamond beings are unknown by humans. The grand deities, and this is the actual words they gave to me, so it's like their language in a sense. So the names of their grand deities. The grand deities At, Hoper, Find, and Uvstar, Nearman, Terex, and the being beyond time. And then I literally got this as a channel. Try on my red pointed hat. And that sounds like a devil hat. So the being beyond time. Are we talking about a devil or the devil from Christian mythology? I don't know. That's just how the channel came in. And now we're starting to, this is starting to get a little dark. That's what I'm thinking as I'm channeling it. Even though that wasn't all that dark. But just the fact that it entered into the channel, I've done enough channeling to know, whoever I'm talking to is going to get a little dark on me. The great priest of the sacred infinite message of the eternal. So there's a deity that they worship called the great priest of the sacred infinite message of the eternal. In you, they are forming the being they seek contact. You they inform with the knowledge of the book of the ancient timeless magic beyond the stars. The globe, and again, that was from the visions we showed, giant globe in space made of diamonds and filled with diamond beings running a command control information structure. Yes, it is real, not what you see, but what works at a level outside the sphere of your perception, by and for the beings here in this place beyond time. So the source that is channeling to me is talking to me from a place beyond time. And then here's some of the dark at the beginning of that paragraph. In you they are forming the being. Ooh, they are? That doesn't sound so safe. But anyway, that's what the channel says. And they seek contact. So, okay, now that's already enough dark for me, but we still got 4 more pages. Yes, the truth is but a night of certainty among clouds of fire. Rest assured our time shall come. The world will watch when we arrive. The glory of our sacred built craft of fire and truth. Have you not seen such glorious sights on the earth? And I highlighted that particular paragraph in red because that appears to be a prophecy, like telling me you're going to see this in the sky. Yes, the truth is but a night of certainty among clouds of fire. So, does that mean in the next few days or weeks there's going to be clouds of fire that are going to, in some form, in the news or around here or whatever, that are going to be a sign that if I see it, then I know that these beings are true and coming from a place of power. It doesn't mean they're good. It just means that they were able to foretell something, and we'll see what happens. Like putting up this video tonight. Is anything going to happen in Seattle like this in the next week or two or whatever? I mean, if it happens a year in the future, that's too long, but a couple days sometimes, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe nothing will happen. The times of the ancients and the season of the now are but the same to us. Treat our knowledge as you would our own. The channel is now open for the first book of eternal knowledge. More of our books may be forthcoming in time. So, beginning the book of the ancient timeless magic beyond the stars. And this is the actual book they're giving me at this time. It's called, again, the book of the ancient timeless magic beyond the stars. This is section 1, and I have a feeling there's going to be quite a few sections. I would guess a minimum 40-page channel could easily go to 80, and 10 of it's already written. I'm only going to share with you the first 5 pages here because it takes too long to read all that, but as I get more, I will share more on the channel, particularly if you guys find this interesting. Section 1, the frequency has been uncovered for accessing and receiving the message of the priests universal and eternal. Guard this knowledge of the frequency, for it has been offered as a gift of the divine eternal from the realm that lasts forever and ever. So there's that part of the channel I was telling you about where it says not to tell you, the audience, how I figured out how to get the channeling working again. And it's working so well that like a book's coming out of me. Like it's really a nice technique, but I guess it's going to remain a secret. So says the gray harbinger of the divine aeons. There was a time when humans were unaware and unexposed to the knowledge of the ancient timeless magic beyond the stars. That time has come and gone. Those who partake of our message enter the aeon of the red dragon of the timeless expanse. I should have highlighted that. So there's something called the aeon of the red dragon of the timeless expanse. And we're getting spoken to by a being that's called the gray harbinger of the divine aeons. That's the only time this particular being is mentioned in this whole channel. But it says directly, so saith this being. Here it is declared by the great and the mighty in guarded tones, that this is the great guarded secret of the knowledge of the aeons from the unmanifested sphere eternal. Herein is contained references to the knowledge to establish the portal to the sphere beyond all that is, from which and within which glimpses of the eternal and that which does not exist yet does exist can be had. So they're giving me the information to create a portal to a sphere beyond all that actually is. So a sphere outside of the universe, because the universe is all that actually is. And glimpses of the eternal and that which does not exist, that which does not exist yet does exist. Forget not the caution which must form a layer of protection against all interactions with beings of the beyond and beings of the eternal grace of the majesty of the Lord of the timeless expanse. Fancy language. Do not make mistakes of any kind when dealing with such beings, for mistakes will be mutations which will allow for the transformation of the environment surrounding the seeker, which can and will be populated by that energy from outside the universe. Now that's a warning there, and that's interesting. Like when you're dealing with these particular beings from outside the universe or whatever, don't make any mistakes, because they'll jump on those mistakes and use those mutations to populate it with energy from outside the universe. And yet, interestingly enough, later on we're going to be told that is actually the magic, one of the main methods for using the magic of these particular beings. So it's a warning at first, and then it becomes a secret that is revealed as the magic. Born therein, and therefore shall emerge beings and things which have not ever existed at any time and in any place. So completely unique things in the universe will be born from the mistakes made while an individual is dealing with beings from outside the universe. Interesting. And that I should write down right now, because that's a much better, more concise wording in the actual channel. Sometimes I'll do things like that. That's fair to do in a channel because you're still keeping true to the original message. While the emergence of such that has never existed may not lead to certain doom, it shall result in great tests which it would be better not to have to take. However, there are those who believe that such mistakes, or precisely such mistakes, the channel will tell me what words to add. And I should have precisely, but I have nothing to write it down right now. May be the first of the magics of the universal beyond. Heed these words well, for they may be expanded into a system of magic unique and potent on the earth. Do you seek the magic of the mistakes? If so, you must be ready to deal with tests which emerge from the mistakes that are made. Do you seek to summon the ancestors from the beginning of the universe? Perhaps in these methods you shall discover the architecture of the portal. Mutation magic summons the idiosyncratic energy from outside the universe, but the forces and changes unleashed may be too much to handle. And that's a good summary for that whole section. Section 1b. Great are the teachings. Few are those capable of summoning the ancestors of the stars. Fewer still are those capable of comprehending the teachings which will be offered to those whom the ancestors of the stars select to bless. Start with this chant. And what was interesting is, when I originally channeled this, it said, start with this chant, and then there was no chant. And then I did all this channeling, and that comes next, like after I read the chant. And then the chant came like 2 pages later. So then I had to take the chant, cut it, and paste it back in the section. Just an interesting weirdness about this particular channeling session. Read to me the tales of the time before the stars. Tell me the myths of that place before time, of whence is where we come. To there is where we would go, where points of motion do not exist, where time is endless. Here the blue dragon was born, when the timeless touched the time, when space merged with the eternal. True until false, the myth reemerges, transformations of time, the markers of our approach. Hide away from the sun, seek solace in the darkness. Here await the beings of potential. Here exist that which has not yet, has not yet seen the light. Again, the channel's coming in. Darker still is the place beyond the stars, for the light of the stars do not shine there. Seek us here before the time. And that's a particularly dark paragraph. And I should definitely color that text and kind of mark it as the dark paragraph, because you actually hear what's being said here. Hide away from the sun. What is the sun? Well, the sun is usually a representation of light and heat and growth, and it's a good sign in the tarot. Seek solace in the darkness. Here await the beings of potential. So the beings of potential will be found in the darkness, away from the sun and the light and the good. Here exists that which has not seen the light, so it hasn't even seen the light. Darker still is the place beyond the stars, for the light of the stars do not shine there. Seek us here before the time. That's a dark paragraph. That could come from like a malevolent demon, honestly. But that's how the channel was, so I'm just reading it to you. High above your especially vile ways, we exist in a state of exceeding purity, our diamond armor hardened by aeons of war. War with who? With what? Presumably the negative polarity forces, but it doesn't actually say that. We don't know who the diamond beings have been at war with. Yes, we are here. Yes, we can be found, but who really tries? West is the direction of the dragon, just south of the North Star, the guardians of the nebula, the colors of the light. Right there you got directions, perhaps, to a space in the universe, or a star, or a constellation, or something, where this information is coming from. And again, that should be highlighted. I'll have to go back and do that. It's what I will do. It's always what I do with these channels when they're good. Read well these texts, for our truths await hidden beneath the veil. Seek not that which is unsuitable for the forces which are sought to be released. For to release forces contrary to the goals is to strengthen the enemy. Here we wait in timeless slumber to awaken within those who seek the way with purity. Almost sounds Lovecraftian there, like Cthulhu almost. Here we wait in timeless slumber. And that sounds like, the Elder Dog or something. To them the great magics shall be offered, power over your greatest enemies, lords of great possibilities manifest in the ether. Do you not see the book of magic is forming in a place beyond the stars? So the book of magic that I'm writing here apparently is forming right now in a place beyond the stars. I don't even know what that place is, like what's beyond the stars, and how do you get to a place that's beyond the stars? I don't know. Maybe that will come in the future channels here. Yes, we do have much to tell, but seek you the knowledge. We talk now, but do you choose to listen? How many claim they wish to know, but turn away the ear when we speak? It's a good analogy for life too. Like, listening is very important. Like, I run into so many people who just don't listen. They pay no attention to what other people say, and you say you want to know, or you want to learn, or you want to get smart, but you don't listen. So how is that going to happen? And they're kind of saying that here too. That's good. I like them saying that. Now on to the next and final couple pages of this channel. The dragons are our kin, magnificent beings here but hidden, summon now the first of our brethren, the great blue dragon of the air of triumphant majesty. For is it not majestic that you have been given this text to write? For you the blue dragon shall speak, through you he shall say his word. So the blue dragon is speaking through me here apparently. Or he will later in the channel. I'm not sure how to interpret that. Within the words of the blue dragon shall echo the halls of the majesty of the eternal deities, of whom the dragon is but a grand emissary and priest, of whom the blue dragon descends in space and time, a being 1/3 material, 1/3 spiritual, and 1/3 eternal, or a being half spiritual and half eternal. The blue magic of the grand blue dragon, it shall now be written. Section 2, the sapphire magic of the grand blue dragon. Seek ye the knowledge, see you the truth. Fail not in your quest, for the quest is the test. The test must be passed. Throughout the cycles of time, space, and infinity, they wander, the nameless, formless non-energies, traveling between dimensions, following the dreams. Yet here they are now, as here they always were, seeking a home, yet never at rest, the formless void incarnate. So that is getting pretty dark. We're talking about the void. Here is the palace of the temple. Here in the palace of the temple goeth the void travelers, under the control of the secret sanctified sect, the walkers of the path that cannot be walked, viewers of the sights that cannot be seen. Let us seek their knowledge. Let us seek the history of the beings without time, of time without history, splendid, emergent, forever remembering and forgetting the creators of the stars. The reason that particular paragraph is outlined so boldly is because we're given information about beings called the creators of the stars. So the beings that apparently created the actual stars. Does that mean created the universe or just the stars? Well, all we got here is stars, so I don't know if I should go as far as saying the beings that created the universe. 30 are the years since I last emerged on this planet. Under the stars I long for the blue moon, seeking reverence from people that cannot understand, working to bring the diamonds to the earth. And now here's the actual magic. And all that, this is interesting study like of their creative process too. Like all this leads to like a paragraph or two of actual magic. That just from these next two paragraphs I could write an entire book of magic. I already know it. Like, and it wouldn't have to be channel, like it could be a traditional book, but I think I'm going to continue with the channel, but it's like all that was necessary precursor to come to this point, and maybe not necessary precursor, but that's the way it emerged. Track the mutations to find the idiosyncratic forms, trace them back to their root, and there you shall find the seed of the energy of that place beyond space and time. Fill the book with the mutations, fill the book with the forms of the mutations in all aspects, the social, the material, the economic, the strength, the spread, the transforming energies, much more shall you discover. In this way you may create a book of the idiosyncratic forms of the place beyond time. So this is kind of like, there's interesting movements of time throughout this channel. Like it isn't like a straightforward linear channel. Like this will be the second or third section that comes like after it's supposed to become. This should exist. I should cut and paste this paragraph back like a page or two. It's like they said like, I can't remember, on the first or second page they talked about these mutations, and then all this other stuff came, and then pow, more talk about, more explanation, a further explanation of the mutation. So it's like a jump in time right there. But what they're basically saying there is, you get in contact with these eternal beings through whatever way. Like, there's apparently a portal that can be made, and this book is not done yet. And make sure you make no mistakes when you're dealing with these beings. But if you do make a mistake, and it's kind of like wink, wink, do it on purpose, but now you got to be ready for the test, and you got to pass it. It's very dangerous tests. Not everybody can handle the test. But now, if you do that, mutations and idiosyncratic forms will arise around you. And what the magic is you track these mutations, you find them, you isolate them, you write them down, and these are in idiosyncratic forms. And what does that mean by idiosyncratic? Something that's never existed before in the universe. So we're almost talking about potentially the root or spiritual source of evolution itself, differential survival and reproduction of competing phenotypes. That's what creates, it builds out of mutations. Like, natural selection is kind of a mutation-driven process. Really interesting connection there that I just made. Like, and now the channel is in my head again, wanting to write all this stuff about natural selection and evolution and how it connects to these deeper planes beyond space and time. So you fill the book with the mutations, and then you kind of trace out the forms of these mutations that you see, and through that you can back engineer and figure out like what kind of archetypal form from the place beyond the stars could have created such an idiosyncratic manifestation through an insertion of its energy into the universe. Like, as you can see, that channel is ready to come out of me. Like, there's pages of this sort of stuff just ready to go. That's when I know I've got a strong, powerful channel. And then it says, this is the second magic of time, space, and infinity. So that's the second magic. So now we move on to the third magic. And the third magic is only one sentence. Combine the revealed patterns, and you may find the forms and the influences of the deities from that timeless place. So not only can you find the expressions of the idiosyncratic, or like the reflections of the eternal in the finite, and you can actually map them by mapping the mutations. But now if you combine all these mapped mutations, you can find the actual deities that exist and actually map them and reverse engineer what they have to be, from combining the second form of the magic, where you combine the mutations and map the mutations. So this is the third magic of unknown deities from outside the universe. So this video has already gone on too long already, so I need to wrap it up quickly, but hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you didn't find this too weird. Like, I don't know, not everybody's into my flavor of weird, but again, I'm the real thing, and when I'm doing the real thing, it gets weird. I could tame it down for you, and honestly, this is kind of tame compared to some of the stuff I will see or channel at times. But yeah, we'll definitely talk more about this channel, because this book's coming. Like, I may put all of the book on my channel here on YouTube. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you watch the introductory video if you haven't. Like the video if you like it. Like, I'm not gonna press that too much. Like, do it if you want, don't do it if you want. Like, if you feel it's deserving, do it. Like, if you don't, whatever, I'll still be making these videos. So all right, have a good night.